We're live. Who all is here on this cold Friday evening? Can't say cold. It actually thawed a little bit today, but it's still cold. It's terrible when you look forward to temperatures in the 30s. We had Lars, an unfinished project here early. Unfinished project is he's at a wrestling match. He's probably out there beating up on high schoolers as we speak, because, you know, it's not like anyone knows what he looks like. Hot Rod Guy Garage says it is already Friday. Indeed it is. I have to look at the calendar to remember. 38 Racing says, reminds me I need to take the trash out. Yeah, the thumbnail of the dumpster, Lars got a picture of that driving to work, so credit to Lars for that one. Grand Pito Vic is here greeting people. Rusted Metal Garage says, hello, everyone. Indecisive Garage. Hello, everyone, from the soon-to-be very frigid north. It is already frigid where you are. You're almost in Canada. Rabbit Transit J, car number one, the perennial car number one of the No Name Nationals. Mohawk 62, Dust Devil Garage. Mama M to the third power, a.k.a. Colleen. Lars has a link up, the Indecisive Garage. We have 2 channels registered for the No Name 500 so far, so time to step it up. We've got 244 days, 3 hours, 57 and a half minutes. Let's make it happen. Dean Stevenson from the other side of the world. He's not an Australian, but most people would say close enough. 6th Street Garage is here. Rusted Metal's asking LP how I can become a No Name 500 contender. Well, I'll let Lars tell you. But if you want my unofficial opinion, what it is for the No Name 500, it's for any channel that has fewer than 500 subscribers. If you have $4.99 and I give you your 500th on the way in, come on, man. But for channels that have fewer than 500 subscribers, when you register, we put your link up on my main page, and that's how the community knows you need subscribers. That's how they know. So it's not just self-serving to say, take a chance on registration. It's to help you too. Because there's a whole lot you'll find in YouTube, and all of us that have been around know this. For every one doer, there's 10 talkers. So when people register, we know they're serious. They've put their money where their mouth is. And if you don't make your 500 subscribers, you still can come as a participant. So even if your car doesn't make it or your subscribers don't make it, either way, you still have a ticket to participate, or a ticket to a spectator, I should say, your participant registration. But we have content creator workshops and so forth, and the No Name 500 is a fun challenge. We've had a lot of channels register over the years. About 70% make it, and that's just about everybody who doesn't quit. Junkyard D, and lots of these guys, Rusted Metal, are former No Name 500 channels. A lot of the people here in the chat are. They can tell you all about it. Turbo Tom's getting ready for -0. That sounds even worse than +0. My Aunt Nancy's watching. JB's Little Shop. Well, hello, Grandma Vic. Lars has a link up for registration right here. Pure Pontiac Garage for Zell Racing. NSB Custom Cars. Land Yacht Garage. Land Yacht Garage, I saw he has a Fall Guy tribute truck going on where he's building. Looked pretty cool. Looked like he had a little small block sitting in the engine bay, and looks like he's plugging away, so I'm anxious to see where that goes. Mean Street Mopar, how's it going, sir? Rabbit Transit J says it's almost 50 in Wisconsin, be below 0 in a couple of days. Better you than me. Johnny Ringo Adventures, that hair's looking awfully white. I don't know. It's mostly gray. My barber says I'm still 55, 45. I don't know. He may tell me this year I've broken past the 50% mark. I don't care. I don't know. Buffdale Campos is 61 here today. That'd be in central Tennessee. That's actually Clarksville area. Lisa Ann, this will be my cousin. Johnny Ringo is your other family member. My husband, your favorite cousin. Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. Figured from the deer. Andrew Nelson is here. Grandma Vic tries to greet everybody. Very admirable. It's a nice culture that we have here. I really appreciate that you guys do that. Says a lot about you. Oh, Donaldson just Dean should be called Skippy. Wouldn't be bad for him, actually. Brazil's been playing with the Galaxy, should be tested next week and ready to head to No Name Nationals. Well, you sure are early and ahead of the game. Mexican Spec is here. Oh, he's catching up. T's Good Time Garage. What's your weather like in Utahville? Laughing about the white hair. Well, you know, I could have drawn the other stick and the hair, instead of going gray, could be going gone. I mean, that's kind of the other way it goes, right? Kim fixes things. All right, glad y'all are all here. Wanted to let everybody get in here real quick. So while I got a chance, I'm going to give, let me go over to here, copy this link, and I'll pin it. Check this out. I'll get all sophisticated here. Meant to do this before I went live and I forgot. It's okay. I can do it now. Eventually going to move my printer off of this table so I can actually use my mouse and look halfway sophisticated. There we go. Had to kill that speaker real quick. I'll paste this in the chat. Pin it. There we go. There we go. So I pinned a link in the chat. That is KK McKay. That's my cousin Melissa's daughter there. And she is an aspiring YouTuber too, but she has earned on her own 579 subs. So for anybody out there saying, well, you know, that 500 is a tall order. I don't know if I can do it. I want to tell you, she did it on her own, 579 subs. She wants to get to 1,000 because according to a recent video she puts up, when she gets to 1,000, she'll be able to do YouTube on her phone. So at 12 years old, without having the advantage of a phone, on her own, she earned 579 subs. So all of you guys, I just swept the excuses right out from under you, right? Just underpinning of excuses went flying everywhere. So anyway, the link is pinned if you want to check out her channel. She's trying to get to 1,000, and if she can do it, you can do it too. If you can't do it, ask her for help. But that's just what happens when you just keep making content and post and do what you're supposed to do. All right, who's got what going on? Mexican Spec says, I went to the post office to talk to the mail carrier directly, but he wasn't there. Haven't heard anything about your card. Well, I sent it, and I copied that. Mexican Spec has an address that just looks like you're writing a paragraph of stuff. It is the longest address by far of anybody in my address book. KK McKay says, thank you, everyone. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for coming by. Got the link pinned. If anybody wants to subscribe to her, they may. Bad Tree Productions is here. How's it going, Bad Tree Blake? Been enjoying his project with the little Valiant 4-door. It's like the blue version of the car from Duel. Roy Boy sneaked in here. Hello. You mean I win a prize? Your prize will be the card getting there whenever it does. How about that? Indirect Connection subscribed. Yeah, well, yeah, check it out. Just see what you're doing. She just likes to have fun on that channel, and who knows, maybe I'll get in the comments and brag on her Uncle Jamie. You never know. Tractor trailers won't stop following that Valiant. I can believe that. Grandpito Vic is mounting the flex plate and starter and dropping the harness on tomorrow with the granddaughter, close to firing it up on the stand. Ordered injectors today. Yeah. Well, I will tell you, cut your time frame in half because you're still going to need all of it. It's not an excuse. It's a reason, said everyone who has an excuse. I don't know what you're talking about, but that is pretty common. In fact, you see this on the board. This fella right here gave me that quote years ago. So it hangs here on the wall. Excuses are the tools of incompetence. Quote from Just Mo Pardue, but I completely endorse it. Wow. Rapid Transit J says she's at 591. So it looks like you've picked up 14 subs in 2 minutes. Not bad. Well, thank you guys. She has a short up on there a few days ago, shoveling snow into the road to try to get school closed for the day. That's the kind of ingenuity you guys need to be doing in shorts that are in the No Name 500. Mexican Spec is hoping that he does better than Dennis Weaver did. Well, Dennis Weaver won. He won the fight at a great cost, but he won, didn't he? Indirect Connection says our streets have 2 inches of salt on them. Yuck. Talk about nowhere I'd ever want to drive. Bad Tree says subframe connectors step 1. I agree with that. And they just make a car work better. They really do. And that's one thing too. Like if you look at the Bad Tree Productions cars, I'm not talking about one they just got, they're still sorting out, but I mean anything they've had a while, like the crew cab or the Nacho, things they've had a while, they always have them sorted and they run well, and they run probably a little better than most people that would have about the same combination on paper, because it's not all the big things, it's all the little things. And one thing Bad Tree does is they make their own subframe connectors, do their own transmissions. They do all the little things that add up, and their cars run. So when they give little advice like that, that's a good thing. Accidentally post on her dad's that went viral. Well, if it's on his channel, not hers, it's not going to do anything for her. Hot Rod Guy Garage is 244 days. Get busy. It'll be September before you know it. Absolutely. Russell's the guy right there. Former No Name 500 channel from season before last, and he has over 10,000 subscribers now. He knows what he's talking about. LS says drone photography in the house. How's it going, sir? I'm doing about like the thumbnail. What's up? Yeah, 300,000 views. Someone, she should have put it on her channel. She still could. The One-Eyed Cat's got a shower on Friday night with hanging out with the crew here. It doesn't get better than this. Well, I'm glad you're having a good time. This is why we do it. Big James in the house. And that reminds me, I want to tell you all about something that we'll be talking about probably either next week or week after. But it's actually some really interesting news. I'll go ahead and mention it now. So you guys know that Edelbrock Incentives, Edelbrock is going to make a business-to-business account for registered participants of the No Name Nationals. And you guys who are registered by February 1st, you're going to get login credentials so that you can buy directly from Edelbrock Group. That's Edelbrock, Lunati, Comp, Russell, TCI, Fast, any of those, anything that comes in that group. It's about 20,000 part numbers right now, and get really good pricing, a significant discount. What I learned today is that our cumulative buying power will have a running tally, and that we will have the opportunity to break into an even better price tier. And by better price tier, I mean we're talking about the prices that your parts retailers buy at, not sell. That's really significant. So we already have good business-to-business pricing. I think you guys are going to be really pleased with that. But if we buy there and we continue that, and as we accrue dollar amount of purchasing with them, we may be able to even get a little bit better price break. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So anyway, I'm working on that with somebody at Edelbrock, Mr. Mays. He's in charge of the program, and we're working on it. And you guys will have logins, and it's a big deal. It's going to represent a lot for you guys. You guys, whatever kind of project you could afford last week, you will be able to afford more next week. And I think that's pretty freaking cool for our little group. Yep, One-Eyed Cat's got more parts to scrounge up. I think this is going to be good. We're getting along. Yes, you will. You will. You'll get it soon. So the program, they're working on getting it. They've actually done some testing. In fact, we had a little meeting via email, phone, whatnot this morning. So it is in the works. And hopefully we'll be able to give you a tutorial of it this upcoming Friday, if not the Friday after that. But in either way, we want to have this ready, rolling before February 1st. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? We should have got here late. You missed everything. We've got, hey, Levi, you'll like this. You're like, what, 15, 16 this year, something like that? No, pinned at the top, we've got KK McKay up there. 12 years old, has earned on her own 579 subs. And I was, of course, this is my cousin Melissa's daughter. And earned all this at the age of 12. She wants 1,000 because according to one of her videos, at 1,000 subs, she can do YouTube on the phone, supposedly. Now, I don't have this from the boss, but I've got that from her video. So anyway, it's pretty cool. She's knocking on the door of 600 now. And what's great about this, one, is that she did it. But number two is it takes away all the excuses from all the people. I can't get 500 subs. I'll get it one of these years. Also, Levi, everything from the Edelbrock group, we're going to have a discount there. And with cumulative buying over time, we may be able to earn our way into an even better price break. Which the one we're getting now is great. The idea that we could get one better is even more amazing. I'm very thankful for that. Frizzell says, I'll be paying my entry fee and registration next week. Well, cool. NoNameNationals.com. Roy Boy says, I'll be tapping that Edelbrock deal. It's for registered participants only. Best cousin ever, a year or so older, almost twins by age. Who? I've got three years and change on you. $200 super chat. Should have seen it. I didn't see the super chat, and y'all didn't see the backflip. Sorry about that. Yes, 570. I have 591 subs now. Levi says, I'll take anything I can get as a semi-competitive engine dismantler. I really like that, Levi. I think you found your niche. Levi does have a record. He disassembled an engine in about 6 or 7 seconds. It went from running, and about 500 feet later, it wasn't. It was already partially disassembled. Look how quick he works. Thumper says there's a set of Edelbrock D-ports with my name on them and VRS carbs. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lunar Outlaw Garage asking how everyone is doing. Well, you see it. Yes, she works on her daddy's Honda Element because he has a hard time figuring out how to fix stuff, so he needs her help. I translated it for you. Chris 103 Customs. Hello, sir. I'm 44. Yeah. And I'm 44 plus 3 and change. So there you go. Right there. Honda Element. And I'm going to be putting a ball joint in the CRV sooner than later. It sounds like it's about to come out of it. You should make a video of that, changing oil. That'd be good. You should do that. You make that video, we'll share it. 634. Let out at 550. Oh, well. Still waiting for you at No Name Nationals. Missed the whole 5 barrel. We're finally stepping up. Well, we may see Lunar one of these years. Grand Pito Vic says his sister does tune-ups, brakes, and oil changes thanks to YouTube. Cool. Yeah, I like that about YouTube, is that you can learn a lot of things, and you can share, and people can look up things, learn from others. That's a great thing about YouTube. But to me, it's about the community. Thumper says he's fighting rusty wheel bearings on the truck. Trapped out here until I get it done. Oh, my. 597. Yeah, she's 3 away from 600. How about that? I predict that she'll get to 1,000 before some of our folks get to 500. Maybe you guys trying to get to 500 should make some dance videos. Levi, I'll have 2 spare engines and 1 spare transmissions thinking of bringing with me. Put everything into one that runs. I mean, I'm not bringing a spare engine or transmission to drive 600 miles each way. Dean says he's 55, same as his IQ. Okay. Wrong English is here. How do all? Hope is all enjoying this cool blessings of weather. Okay. Brazil says racing open about 30 days. Yeah, usually Shady Side's open in February. Of course, last February it was really nice. I mean, I bet it was 50-some, 60 degrees. I was down there in Shady Side. It all ran last year, yeah. Others bring those to you, yeah. At the rate the radiator shop's going with my radiator, might need to get a radiator to show up out there. I know you've got a couple. Brooks says he might as well bring it. We've only broke every year for the last 4 years. Nothing like rubbing it in there. Man, Levi, she's got a sanding block with your name on it, just rubbing it in. Melissa learns how to break into her house after locking herself out from YouTube. Had to break into the cabin once when an older man forgot his keys. Lovely. Yeah, that's right. That's right. LS's drone photography is putting together a dance. You already did something that sort of looked like that. Yeah, go for it. So close to getting your 500. You're what, 279.80? It's close as relative there. Lunar says this year might be a possibility. Well, cool. We'd love to see you. Johnny Ringo Adventures. If anyone needs a 91 Corvette 350 glass target top. My cousin has one in Russellville, Kentucky. Well, there you go. There's your FYI on that. Thumper had his truck idling in the doorway of the shop. Got out to scoop snow out of the bed. The door locked behind me. Had to break into my own truck while it was running. LSS says I've got 193 to go. Okay, so he's at 307. Well, good luck on that. The drone photography will get you there. Yeah, I had a cup of hot chocolate because I'm, so high class. I make my hot chocolate in a solo cup. And I had this driving this morning, and I was reminded of that scene from License to Drive where the guy says, I've got my hot cup of coffee, and sets it on the dash. If it falls off and burns him, you fail taking your driving test. I was thinking about that this morning. But unlike coffee that smells like a house burnt down and somebody put it in the blender and ground it up and added water, this actually tastes good. LSS drone has one video with more than 125,000 views. That's right. If my 12-year-old can get to 500, so can you. I would agree with that. Anybody that says they can't do 500, just remember Rich 220 has 770 some. Remember what you're saying you can't do. The Solo cup still shows your common folk. I'm going to take that in the kitchen and rinse it. And we'll move it so I don't keep habitually picking it up. I'm going to take that in the kitchen. I'm going to rinse it. I'm going to use it again. Getting locked out of a vehicle is no problem. Getting locked in your vehicle is a problem. I don't know. So Jethro locked me out one time. I was washing the windshield while I was pumping gas, and he decided to jump up and lock the doors on me because he was barking at the thing I was washing the windshield with. Wow, $5.99. It's pretty impressive. Fortunately, so the one thing I used to think was useless was the brake pedal interlock on the shifter. I've always hated that because if I back up, especially on a little teeny tiny grade and the car stops, just you back up, you quit giving it gas, I want to take my shifter straight to drive. I don't want to cover the brake and then do it, but you have to do it on something like a CRV because the shifter won't move if you don't. Well, when Jethro was in there barking and he had his paw jumping up and down the windshield, I thought, you know what? He could knock this out of park so easily if it weren't for that brake pedal interlock. So in that vehicle, I like it for that reason. Never thought about it till then. Indirect Connections says, I had a coworker get locked in his Chevy truck. He called us to open the door from the outside because both interior door handles were broken. Man, that is some redneck stuff right there. Levi said, I need to figure this valve release thing. Yeah, exactly. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's an inside joke. Yeah, so when you get this discount with the Edelbrock group, just note, they don't know. They're not going to have anything called a valve release piston there. Brooks says, I've done pretty good the past 6 years. What's a little longer? Okay. Grampito Vic says at 18, he was locked out of his 85 Ford Ranger. Cost him $75 at 94 to have it unlocked. You know, the sad thing is, in 1994, that glass was probably $5 at a junkyard. So just saying. Started carrying a spare in his wallet. I did that for a little while, but man, the wallet doesn't like to carry keys. I do carry a van key in the watch pocket. When LSS does his 500 subs, he's to send his drone down the track. I don't know. We'll see. He's just doing it to do it, as far as I know. Goes 600. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good to get that many just for a shout out like this. So I hope it works out. I hope you get your 1,000. You're well on your way. And there's KK McKay. Thanks for joining us. If you saw the truck, redneck would be enough to describe. Well, I already knew that when he's driving around with 2 broken door handles. Has a giant sticker of a grenade on the side, lifted 6 inches with 37-inch tires, no tread. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I would have pictured that truck looking like without you even telling me anything more than he drove around with 2 broken inside door handles. Is he just that, I was thinking, is he used to getting arrested and trying to reach out? I mean, don't they usually put the bars on the windows too? In 94, I probably couldn't have replaced it. Yeah. the new keys are too big. Even the old keys, they're flat. They don't bend with the wallet. Don says, I don't even lock my Valiant. The lock is the glove box. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, your car would be a really hard one to get away with stealing. I mean, it's not like there's a plethora of those around. Clayton's toolbox is here. Clayton just registered for the No Name Nationals, and he's coming from the Arctic north of Canada. Clayton, in case you haven't gotten word, we are going to have a group discount for registered No Name Nationals channels through the Edelbrock group. And you're going to be one of the channels, of course, that can take advantage of that. And we getting logins. It'll be live by or before February 1st. So if it's not this upcoming Friday, which it should be, it'll be the next, probably this upcoming Friday. We're going to be able to give you a walkthrough of how that works, ordering directly from Edelbrock. And as our group accumulates purchasing dollar through them, we are going to be eligible to potentially move into an even better price break, which is the one we're getting already is outstanding. When John found out JB's S10 had two S10s, both with broken passenger door handles. No, not really. Not really. I thought those were broken from the factory. When Ford had the door handle that was plastic that just broke all the time, that interior door handle. Yeah. And they make a metal one that looks just like it. I don't know why the plastic one is even a thing. Heavens Mopar says, you go, girl. Great job indeed. Scott's like our community cheerleader. He has a perpetually good attitude. I know that Scott opined on my thumbnail for the live tonight. See if I can find a good picture of that. Yeah, maybe not. But I do have a bad picture of that. Oh, wait a minute. I know what my good picture is. My good picture is in my email where I sent it to myself. Here we go. This was the thumbnail Scott was talking about. He said, so for those of you who just tuned in when you saw we were live, you missed this. He said, don't let your dreams wind up there. I figured Scott might have an opinion of that. Johnny Ringo says, had my key stuck in my ignition a few months ago. I YouTubed to fix some, tore apart the ignition, and now I can take out my key while driving. I consider this an upgrade. There's a lot of old cars you can take the key out when you're driving. $601.5. That means Dean is subscribed. And since we have my cousin in the house, I'll show this shirt. So this shirt describes our community. It's for No Name Nationals 2024, but the back of it has 3 check boxes. Look how dirty that shirt is. My gosh, it's been on the desk. Money, fame, and community. We show what we're in it for. Clayton's Toolbox says, there's a chance I'll fly down and a chance I'll trailer the Pinto. Excited to go. Well, cool. Yeah, do what you need to do. We'd love to have you. Hey, it was cheap. You're not seeing the big picture? Okay. That's a cool thumbnail. So many get sold off the jack stands. The worst door handles were the Chevy Beretta and all 2-door W bodies on the B pillars. Oh, yeah. I remember those. Yeah, that was a dumb idea. The GM had so many of those. I quit keeping track. Blue Grid had a key break in the steering wheel club once. Bad experience. Oh, the locks on those are so bad. I don't even know why you need a key in the first place. But yeah, that's not good. Ah, there you go. There's the short on that channel, the Johnny Ringo channel. Dom's is not even on the engine stand. That's closer to spring braking. Okay. Square body Chevy door handles are the best. No one can change my mind. No one's trying to. I like an interior steel chrome interior door handle. I know that's something a new car would just never have now, but that's what I like. Although I never did like the ergonomics of, say, a Mopar, like an A-body interior door handle. I never was crazy about that because you get your hand pinched in them the way they're made. They're vertical. It's a little flap that moves vertically. I don't know whose interior door handle I like best, but it's not that one. The van had the same door handle, actually. It's got one made just like that. Fall off from metal fatigue? Yeah, I don't know. Grand Pito Vic had a Chevy key stuck in the ignition. I locked the doors with my key and my wallet, went to sleep. Stolen when I woke up. And you do live in a crime-soaked area, I'll tell you that. Hey, Grand Pito Vic, is Grandson's Buffet still there? Is it still rolling and open? I haven't been there in years. Community is the most important. Yeah, I agree. There was a big YouTuber one time who said there are only two reasons people get into YouTube: money or fame. And he's in it for the money. No problem. Do what you want with it. But I say there's not just two reasons. The best reason is the reason YouTube was made for: community. Remember, YouTube was started almost 20 years ago. We're coming upon YouTube's 20th birthday, and it was meant to share videos. That's before all the money came into it, or fame for that matter. Competition product discount still active. I still receive the book from them. Yeah, we got to figure out where that stands, because that deal was made through AHRA. This deal with Edelbrock is made through the No Name Nationals. But that said, sure, take advantage of that. Grandsons. Yeah, I know. I like grandsons. Grandma Vic doesn't, she says. But you seem like, I like it. I've been there one time. Thought it was great. The inside and out scream simple, like square bodies. Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're good trucks. Nothing wrong with them at all. Dean loves the Piston 68 A-body armrest door handles. Okay. Yeah. Lovejoy is here. Jason's still sneaking around. Dean says, my last manager at a previous job assured my colleague that if the key is snapped off in the lock and you can start it with a pair of vice grips, it's not broken. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. It's not broken until the last time. It's so broken it can't get broken anymore. It can't get fixed either. Bigfoot Mark is here. Bigfoot's and Mopars. How's it going, sir? Did you ever have any luck registering? I will tell you, there seems to be a glitch if you try to register and order shirts or decals at the same time. I think that's what it is. I think that's the only time I've ever seen anybody have a problem with that, because one is fulfilled electronically and one is shipped. if that's the case, it's no harm and no foul. Just do both separately. But it's a glitch with Square, and I can't confirm it. I'm sure if I got the Square support, they would just tell me, "Oh, it'll do that." I don't think it will. It's not broken until it doesn't work anymore. Well, I agree with that, but they'll say that when it stops working properly, and then it works even less properly. Then it gets fixed. Then it gets scrapped. Yes, Main Street Mopar says Mr. Foot. Yeah. That's right. NSB, make everybody jealous. What's the temperature down there where you guys are? And these guys remind me something I'll just throw out there and mention. Sometime when the weather gets a little better, because I sure don't want to do it with weather like this, I'm going to be having a firearm training class in Middle Tennessee. Our friend Lars is trying to get us set up with a good place to have that, a good hosting location. And what I'll do, I'll charge what we normally charge for a day of training, but that amount in gross. So I'll cover the overhead out of pocket, but the tuition in gross will be a No Name Nationals benefit. So I'm looking to do that. Dust Devil Garages are still banners for sale. Yes, there are. We're a little low on stock, so if there's a huge run on them, I have to get another bunch in. But yes, there are banners for sale right now. Clayton's Toolbox asking anyone in this group into big block Oldsmobiles. I'd like to see your channels. There's people out there into big block Oldsmobiles. 58 degrees. You guys need to keep that cold weather. 58 is cold to me, but I would take it right now. More snow and ice coming Tuesday. Yeah, it's about like it's going to be here. Although I'm looking forward to a little bit of rain tomorrow because hopefully it'll get rid of some of this ice if it can stay just warm enough to get dry. And Lars puts up the link to the banners. If you'd like to have one, $30 including shipping, send it right out. Redbeard 710 says, what's up? Hope everybody's having a great Friday night. Well, this is the highlight of Friday for sure right here. It is for me anyway. Western North Carolina, to be exact. Thumper says it's 33 here. Balmy. I worked on my tan and only needed a hoodie. You were only wearing a hoodie and work on your tan? Okay. Yeah, Redbeard doesn't like to be too predictable. He likes to duck in and wave and leave. But Roy Boy's asking, how's Venom? That's a great question. How is Venom doing, Redbeard Daniel? Marty of Useful Entertainment brought the black Cutlass with a 455 4-speed last year. Yes, he did. It's a beautiful car. I got to say, I missed the Jack Pine Savage, No Name Nationals. Venom is under the knife. Well, it's got to get healed up. 244 days, 3 hours, 15 minutes and change to do it. I'm wanting to do more match racing this year with the quicker cars. So be looking for that soon. We want to put that together. Because as a class, 28-10-5 as a class is not doing what I had hoped it would for 3 seasons now. So I want to do some match racing with the quicker cars for this year. Diecast Dreams, my losing weight or is the Z-axis on my camera screwy? I don't know. I'll probably have worms or something. Clock is ticking away. Yes, it is. Speaking of clock, there's a clock over here that's going to be going out soon to the channel that kind of bit off more than they could chew. So be on the lookout. Clock goes out every winter to a channel that needs the inspirational clock. All right, I feel much better now because Rabbit Transit Garage is now registered for the No Name Nationals. Jay so confidently just registers at his leisure. His number one is safe. I remember the second year, people were concerned that they wouldn't get their numbers back if they didn't register. So they tried to register as quick as they can, like they were going for number one. I'm like, no, you can renew your numbers. And Jay's, Bigfoots and Mopars, I called out the 671 blown cars. Yeah, that would be cool. Between Thumper and your Belvedere, that might be a cool race. Dean Stevenson suggests the best way to get rid of ice is to put it in a small glass of scotch. Okay. What time range is considered a quicker car? I'm thinking kind of the match races that I want to see are put together cars that run in the fives. Certainly would consider cars that run in the fours with proper safety equipment. That's the problem. That's the problem. Not cars that run in the fours. The problem is cars that run in the fours with in-date belts and a proper cage and the stuff they're supposed to have. And Jay says, I'm not losing that number. We actually have a running joke that Jay's got a medical directive if he goes into a coma to keep him registered. He wants to keep that number one. I have a channel with no content. Does that count off as buying off more than I can chew? Absolutely not. You're chewing the amounts you can handle, which apparently is not doing anything at all on your channel. Yeah, I'm just having in my mind it would be cars that run in the fives. Because for everybody else, there's plenty out there in terms of parity and in terms of call outs. And there really is for the 5-second cars too. But I'm kind of thinking that. Redbeard says, if anyone needs any electronics or gauges, I'm selling everything that was in Venom's going EFI Holly Dominator. Okay, there you go. The right helmet, which is true. Yeah, if you got a car that runs 5.0s and you're wearing an open face DOT helmet, that doesn't work. Bigfoots and Mopars says, I'm crushing Lee this year, looking for the call-outs. Call-outs are really where it's at. They were great the first year. And the thing is, they were great when both cars made it there. Once people figured out that a lot of people don't make it, then they started being more judicious in their call-outs. But we need to get back to that. Especially you guys who've been there year after year. You know you're going to make it back. You know your car's going to be together. We need call-outs from you guys. Scott says, I got to figure out how to unload an L700 fifth wheel truck that was lowered onto a car trailer tomorrow in sub-freezing temperatures. Lowered on a car trailer. So where there's no ramps? I mean, you can get it off the trailer. That's not a problem. It just won't run. You just use a come along in a big tree and pull that thing off of there. Or a trailer hits you on another truck that's parked or something. That's not that bad. Grand Pito Vix is not going anywhere in Michigan. I've never been to Michigan. Maybe next year for that 5-second time. Right. But the thing is I just say that's just an in general thing, right? Like, I'll tell you, Dallas and Joe, just Mopar Joe, both had an identical ET this year. So a match between those two would be ideal. It'd be great. Heads up. Good stuff. And both of them will probably whittle a little more off of that between now and then, too. So that's the kind of match race I think will be great and memorable. It doesn't necessarily have to be 5-6, but I think that the faster cars, the cars that traditionally we've wanted to see get in the 28-10-5 class, that's kind of what we're looking for. What I've just found with 28-10-5 is that there's this huge outlaw culture around it, and a lot of these cars have become so quick, with the speed parts, and they don't have the cages and stuff for it. And I just, if it was so universal to have all of that together before the cars were going that quick, it would change everything. But it's not. It's not for some reason. So, KK McKay shout me out just now. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you kindly. Thumper says, I've never been to Michigan either. Yeah, you're on the Canada side of Michigan. Not Michigan proper, right? A new video out from Indecisive Garage. Yeah, go check it out. Indecisive Garage. Tim Jacobson runs the first E4OD Cope trans brake valve body. Grand Pito Vic is going to try a few burnouts in Caraway and Piedmont with never done projects to make sure it's good for No Name Nationals. I'm telling you, cut your time in half. Set your goals closer than you think, because you're going to need it. Indecisive is hoping to run against Mr. Haney. I got to tell you, I really think that Mr. Haney is probably number 3 of the vehicles that Cope would bring. He's working on the Coronet. The Coronet can definitely happen. But if it doesn't, or maybe even if it does, he's probably going to want to bring the Power Wagon. So if you want to run Haney, what you should probably do is call him and Haney out. But I don't know. The Coronet may well make it. And that said, you guys live close together. You might be able to race Haney another place anyway. But anyway, that's the thing. You have to call Cope out. See what happens. One-Eyed Cat says, I was never to Missouri until No Name Nationals happened, and here we are. I was never to Missouri until we were wanting to make the No Name Nationals happen the first time. First time I'd ever been. Went with Dallas out there, and we scoped the place out. Heavens Mopar says the front wheelbase is wider than the trailer. Can't back over his fender without crushing him. We'll do it Stone Age style. There's ways around that. Properly, you may be okay. They just blinked on you guys. It did on me. It does it right in the middle of my live one time for a few seconds, never does it again. I don't know why that is. But anyway, you may be able to take the wheels off, jack it up, and move it back on the jack until the front wheels are past those fenders and put the wheels back on to roll it down the ramps. You might be able to do that. And just use like a 2x, some really good heavy boards so that you don't tear up your trailer floor. Might be a way to do it. It costs a ton to race unlimited small tire. It does, but there's just a lot going on with that. So it's its own thing and its own culture. Our 4th trip to Sykeston, new vacation spot. Yeah, it's a good spot, man. Redbeard's thinking about trying the 26-inch tire class. Interesting. First time your car was ever on 28-10-5s at No Name Nationals. Thumper says an easy way to move that truck is with Tannerite. I'm sure it is. The Galaxy will be there. Definitely open for a call out from anyone. Would love to have a couple match races. That's a good possibility. We'll see. Redbeard, that's a 480 class. Don't forget, I'm looking for van owners that want to run in the van bracket this year. So, yes, Dust Devil Garage, Dust Devil Brian, has the Vantastic bracket. He's going to run it to No Name Nationals. It's 4 vans. And for people who are registered in the van class with a call-out video by Memorial Day, will get a commemorative shirt for this van bracket. So, added incentive there. But yes, Dust Devil Garage is wanting to run the van bracket. Thank you for the reminder, Brian. We need to get a flyer out on that. Okay, cool. So apparently we're tagged now on a short. Nice. Hopefully more people come out and join us. We do run a family-friendly live stream, and it's a family-friendly event, the No Name Nationals. And as long as I have anything to do with it, it'll stay that way. Bigfoots and Mopar says, I'll race the Galaxy. That'd be a nice vintage-looking pairing there. And Lars already has a link to said short right here. And Frizzell says he'll take it. So there we go. But yeah, the van bracket's going to be good. So Dust Devil Brian's working on it. Of course, Nick the Van Man 90 is game for it too. But it should be some good stuff. All right, sounds like y'all got a race going. That's a good call out. We need more call outs. When I think of a call out, that's just whatever one channel wants to do racing another. When I think of a match race, it's like a best 2 out of 3. And that's cars that are really well paired. Jed has a cool van too. Well, there you go. Jed can get in on it. Jed has been to each of the No Name Nationals. He's been to every year. So I hope he'll be there this year. And it'd be cool to bring the van. Roy Boy had to use soapy water on a trailer when he had to unload a 500-gallon tank by myself. That's pretty heavy, man. Gosh, that's 2 tons if that thing's full of water. Levi says, I got a new valve body for 2025 and some warmer weather. When I got to refresh the new motor, I'll get the valve body. So what I'm assuming it's a Turbo 400 valve body. What kind? It was empty. Well, thank goodness, because I'm telling you, that would be miserable unloading that thing if it's full. Hot Rod Guy Garage says, I'm already answered for Zell's call out. What are you guys waiting on? I'm starting with a bare hull. Yeah, but he'll get it done. Hot Rod Guy Garage will show up with a complete car. Blue Grit says, any thought of a street tire class where custom axles not required? There's so many of these little carved out niche classes like this. And the custom axle thing really doesn't have anything to do with that as much as it does the ET of the car. So, you know, all of these classes, I would just say make some call outs, Blue Grit Garage. That's where it's at. Make call-outs for people who have factory axles and street tires. Make your own parameters and do a call-out. And if your call-out attracts 10 people, well, maybe we'd have a class the next year. That's really the way classes usually shape up. So we see who shows up, and then we say, these guys, maybe we'll make them their own class. Levi says, Extreme Automatics, based out of Ohio. Billet aluminum, pro brake. Its name is the Tree Killer, going to help my starting line problems. Okay. But weren't you running a trans brake before? "38 races I ran on street tires the last 2 years." Yeah, a lot of people, most people there do. Most people there do. Most people there either run on street tires or could run on street tires. But see, we're having that problem with like 28-10-5. A lot of guys want to run that tire when they don't really have a car for the class. And so what happens is every year we have 15 people saying, I want in it, I want in it, I want in it. And then guess what? come Friday, come Saturday, when it comes time to do $100 buy-in, they're, nah, my stuff's apart. These cars too quick. Okay. But see, that's why classes go away right there. So we like to do some match racing with quicker cars this year. 38 says might be running some 26 8.5s this year. That's a cool little size of slick. I've run a bunch of 26 8.5 stuff. I like that size of tire. Yeah, he's going to burn his down in the burnout pit. Well, we got a good burnout pit there. I'm hoping we have a wild burnout competition this year. We've never had a tame burnout competition, I can tell you that. I think our carnage record was the second year, though. Levi's got, it's a Jake's brake, like a Jake brake on a truck. That's what I think of. Facebook transmission. Levi likes to break stuff. Grand Pito Vic wants to drop my exhaust just in front of my tires so the smoke will blow out. It blows out anyway if you get enough wheel speed. Can a guy win the oil down award in the burnout pit? Well, nobody ever has. I don't know that we necessarily have thought about that, but I mean, maybe. I don't know. You posed something interesting I hadn't thought about. So Hot Rod Guy Garage, this is where he is with his car right now. Right here. So he started with an absolute shell that did not even have a floor. And now he's got his floor in, he's got his roll bar in, he's got his seat in. Russell's going to make it. Clayton says, I have some old drag radials, but the rubber doesn't feel sticky anymore. I hear WD-40 can help. Ever try this? I've never tried that. I don't know about, I wouldn't think putting oil in the rubber would be that great an idea, but they get old. I know that the chemicals evaporate out. Now Levi's talking about an index. Heard so much crying about an index last year. That's why I didn't do it. I don't think I want to do it this year either. I mean, I get it. Would have been great. But, I mean, I think the match race is going to be great. Grand Pito Vic says, that's why I leave the 327 rear with 35 spline axles, Yukon policy. Okay. Wheel speed is critical. It is for burnout. Yeah, we got some burnout ringers that participate. They can tell you what's needed for a good burnout. Levi is suggesting simple green, the cleaner. Okay. Boy, that'd make people mad. A 28 tire, just they have to get new tires for one race, for one. Now, I mean, you know, since we're just over an hour in, I want to remind people, hopefully it will be this upcoming Friday, the Friday after that at the latest. We're going to do a walkthrough of the Edelbrock Incentives Program and the registered channels for the No Name Nationals are going to get a good discount from Edelbrock. And we don't want that to be abused, obviously. We don't want people registering just for the discount. If people do that and then, don't even make an effort to make it, then that changes things, obviously. But we want people to take advantage of it. And as we accrue purchase amounts through Edelbrock, that's going to put us in better position to potentially get an even better price break. So the break we're getting now is great. It's the engine builder discount, business to business discount. And we have a chance to get a better rate, more like a parts reseller business would have. So it's another incentive to use the incentive. And we should be talking about that either this upcoming Friday or the one after that. There's testing being done on it, and hopefully that'll be done this week. Bleeding works for Awesome Blue Smoke as well. Bleach. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I know we've seen some bleach tires show up. But the big one's wheel speed. I mean, you can always tell that wheel speed's a big deal. Also finding, old tires, like tires from the 70s, the compound was a lot smokier. Old bias plies. Installer price would be awesome. Yeah, the price we're getting is a good discount. It is a good discount, but we may have a chance for even the higher tier than that with cumulative spending of our channels. So something to keep in mind. Just an incentive to help you guys get your cars done and get more done for your money. So, yeah. Don says if I get the oil down award, it'll be on the track. He's looking at gear oil. Oh, yikes. Yeah, Don wants to break his 7 1/4 rear end there. Well, maybe you'll break it. Why don't you just break it in July so you have to put the right rear end in the car before September anyway? Just do that. Wholesale, yes, please. Yeah, this is going to be a good price deal. It's really significant. It's significant. And it's a benefit for registered No Name Nationals participant channels. Dean says wholesale. Yeah, I think that's a fair way to describe it. Grand Pito Vic, I'm definitely going to use it for my torque converter. 3000, 3200 triple disc lockup. I'm right on the edge, yeah. Well, triple disc lockup, you should be able to lock that up going down the track if you wanted to. Only being in second gear, drifting all over the place, killed my tire smoke at the burnout contest. Yeah, you need wheel speed, but you were doing it also with an inline 6 and still put on a great show. Single lockup, so I'll go with a triple. Yeah, if you can get one. One-Eyed Cat says, I have motor and better brakes on the year of the itinerary. I'm in the middle of a 5-year plan. Yeah, you need to get a dual circuit master cylinder on that car. The master cylinder you need is a 68 Charger manual disc master cylinder. Or you can use the modern Mopar master cylinder it's made for. And you want to get the one with the smallest piston, the 1.03-inch piston that has the longer travel, the smallest piston with the longest travel. That's what you want for the manual disc brakes. Oh, and you'll need the adapter plate that takes it from a 4-bolt pattern to a 2-bolt pattern to mount that little aluminum master cylinder, if you want to go that route. Or you can do what I did and go with a heavy cast iron factory master cylinder, but You need to get the one that's based on, I think, the 68 Charger with manual discs. There's a whole lot of people who don't understand that, and they'll run the master cylinder from a power brake car, and you have to practically stand on the pedal with both feet to get the thing to stop. It's because the piston is too big and the travel is too short. LSS Drones, let's have a great evening. He's retiring to bed. Well, have a good sleep, man. Don has a 5-year plan, though. That's really admirable. Brazil says, pretty sure I'll have to do a brake upgrade now, maybe a shoe on the back. Brazil, do you have a single circuit master cylinder on your car still? Sarah Canadian Diesel, how was your week? How was the weather there? Well, my week happened, and the weather now it was above freezing for a few hours this afternoon and back down. So still have ice on my steps. Dual pop, but a factory brake setup. Factory brake setup's actually okay. I would want to run the two-chamber master cylinder just in case one side fails or springs a leak. But yeah, you want good brakes. The drum brakes, though, I got no problem with them. When they're adjusted right, in good shape, drum brakes are good. They stop well. You running drums on the front, Brazil? Graham Vic's calling it evening as well. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Drums are great for drag racing. I agree. They're generally pretty light. They don't look light, but they are. And yeah, they stop well. Thing is, with drag racing, you're getting them hot one time, slowing down from the 660 down to the shutdown. But then you got all that time to cool them off before you come back up and run again. So it's not like a road race where you get them hot. They have very little time to cool. Just keep all that heat over the course of a run. It's not like that. So for drag racing, drums are great. Dallas is spot on. Got drums, cars getting well. Drums, I've seen a lot of drums on low 6-second cars that are just fine. But, you want a good master cylinder, do the upgrades right. Yeah, they work just fine until they don't. I like to have the dual just so that I wouldn't lose rear brakes if the fronts went out. Or well, you definitely don't want to lose fronts to rear because I think you don't have any brakes hardly at all. Jack Pine had 10-inch drums, got a bit hairy at the shutdown in Sykeston. Yeah, your car, it wasn't a light car either. And running in the 670s, big B body, that's a little different too. But that shutdown is 1,300 feet there. Young kid at the shop bought a 63 Mustang, had no idea how bad drum brakes were. Yeah, that's because it's a young kid. And he's used to these cars today that have all kinds of brakes. That's the difference. See, I grew up with marginal brakes. My daily driver when I was younger was a 1970 Dodge Dart with 4-wheel manual drums. So to me, getting in something with power discs and 4-wheel discs in these modern cars, modern brakes, everything's going to seem bad to a person who's, teenager or something. Yeah, so Don's car does have discs on the front. Blue Grit Garage is the first thing he did on his wife's 65 and my 66 Mustang. Dual master cylinder front disc brakes. Yeah, he did discs on the front. And you can. Nothing wrong with that. My Dart Sport had discs from the factory. I don't think I would convert it over if it didn't. But it did. In fact, it was the first year to have them from the factory. Yep. There we go. I told him that was a good question, since that was worked through AHRA from Mr. Rodder there. So, yes. And did the brakes for his engine went in. That's a good time to do it. Grampito Vix's 430 comes early. Yep, thanks for swinging by. Lone Ridge Garage, one of our registered No Name 500 channels. Glad you could make it. Brazil said if the car runs sixes with this new engine, I'm going to feel like I just wasted a bunch of money. So for your Galaxy, you're wanting to run into fives? Is that for your Galaxy, or is that for a different car? Is that for that Mustang? Grandma Vic, thank you. I appreciate that. And Lars puts up the link for Lone Ridge Garage if you'd like to support his efforts. I'm not sure how many subscribers he has off the top of my head, but I know that Indecisive Garage was at 51, and he had considerably fewer than that. So Lone Ridge Garage has a long way to go, but he can definitely do it. He's got 244 days, 2 hours, and 42 minutes. So he has time to make it. The Galaxy should be in the fives now. So are you caging it? It's going to be in the fives. You putting the roll cage in the car? $26 currently. That's awesome. I thought it had a roll bar in it. Didn't it just have a 6-point bar in it, or a 4-point bar, Bobby? Is it caged on the A pillars too? Does it have a window net? Because I didn't realize you were going to make it that much quicker. That's a considerable step in the amount of tech you have to have. I'm going to check your tech video out. You did do a good video on tech. I want to see that. If you're going to go to the fives, that's a good bit quicker. Rage with a cage. Junkyard D reminds me here today, since I got this new computer, this is the first Friday stream with the new computer. I've been working on revising the intro, but I really like Junkyard D in the intro. Just great. Love it. Leave it to Lars. But I am making some revisions to that intro, trying to include more flavor of the No Name Nationals. You need bars, but I'm thinking off the top of my head, Bobby, and I'd have to look and see. You might want to see what it actually runs, but you may need to do your A-pillar bars and the regular cage. I'd have to look and see. But this is a good thing. I'll tell you what, we'll get with Deke and see where everything is. Because that's going to be substantially quicker for that Galaxy. Who's Your Garage is here. Hello, Adam. Adam, so I want to mention while you're in here, so Dust Devil Brian is going to be having the Fantastic Van Bracket at the No Name Nationals. And if you'd like to participate in that, we'd like to have you. for people bringing vans, and their channels are registered by Memorial Day, you're going to get a commemorative shirt for the Vantastic bracket. So, just an FYI. Mater says 240 more days to goof off before building something for No Name Nationals 25. That's exactly how to not have something done. Perfect. Thank you for reminding them exactly what not to do, Mater. Yeah, the intro showcases the very first No Name Nationals hat ever sold. Yes, it does. I did not get a hat from the first batch. I did not. For those of you who have yet to see the hats, because remember, they never even made it to the store. These are the hats right here. So it's a flex fit, really nice. And Junkyard D's got one on in the video. And yeah, you can get the hats in the store. Gunslinger Graphics has the link. They'll be up on the No Name Nationals page as well. Yeah, if you want to, it's going to be the same weekend in September, the 18th through the 20th this year. And if you'd like to come out, we'd like to have you. 639 and faster, 639 and quicker starts to get into more serious safety rules. It does. The quicker you go, that's why I'm saying, Bobby, you may want to see where you're running with that. But that said, if you're already planning on being there with a new combination, you might as well just get it done. Lars puts up the link. No Name Nationals hoodies and hats. All proceeds go toward the event. Yes, they do. Don moved the sticker on the hat to the right side. Well, you keep the sticker on there? Glad I didn't have like a tag hanging off of it or something. Lone Ridge Garages, I'll be interested in the van brackets. Got a 1990 Chevy, ran in the 20s in Tucson. Okay. With a tag, he'd be the modern Mini Pearl. Yeah, perhaps. AKA Sarah Cannon. I feel like I need to build my sawed off 8 3/4 for the van so I can swap out third members to the event. Well, if you want to, that would be interesting. Show up with a 276 in it and make a pass, and then throw a 410 in there and make a pass and see what it changes. That would be really interesting. You got plenty of help. Here's a link to Dust Devil Garage's channel, who, by the way, congratulations to Brian. He's been trying to stay below 1,000 subscribers. And he just couldn't keep it there. Unfortunately, he went over on live on Wednesday night. So anyway, go over and check out Dust Devil Brian's channel. He can tell you more about the van bracket. That's a pit thrash right there. It's been done before. We've had guys change gears to track there before. Several people have, actually. Stephen Holtz changed, he did a setup on the gear at the track, changed the wheel studs there on a car he drove from Texas to the event and drove it back. He's not afraid of much. Exactly. No, he didn't just swap out the pumpkins. He actually took his out, changed the gear, set up a gear in his, and put it back and changed the wheel studs. And then I think he unswapped that gear, put the high gears back in it, and drove it to Texas on the same carrier, which to me is far more significant, but which is kind of crazy, but he did. You can hide an 8 3/4 pumpkin and 9-inch axle to really mess up the tech guy. It won't mess up the tech guy. It'll mess up the guy trying to do it. Rapid Transit Jay knew a guy that will carry 2 or 3 third members in his trunk for events down in Mexico. I would rather just build a good overdrive transmission, one of those. Dedication, yes. Speaking of dedication, how is your Duster coming? Who's your garage, Adam? Dean says 525 pounds of engine weight versus a big block Mopar 383. I'll be back in a second. The big block, if you're running aluminum heads, those weights get much closer together. Just Mopar Joe has a good video on his channel weighing big and small block. They were really, really close. The only thing I didn't like about the way he did his weights, he didn't account for the accessories on the front, which definitely skewed it a little. But I will say what he did prove is when you're running aluminum heads, those weights come much closer together. Hoosier Adams said, I've been slow on updates until the other day. I have an update on the suspension. Check it out. Well, that's cool. Lars may be putting up a link to that suspension video, which would be really nice. He's ordering axles in the next few days. Cool. Excellent. You could tow the Duster with the van. Take you a nice, slow, leisurely trip down the 55-mile-an-hour back roads. Yeah, I'd imagine your van wouldn't be too happy trying to tow a car trailer. It'd be like my van. It wouldn't be happy. It'd do it, but it wouldn't be happy. There we go. Lars puts up the link to Hoosier's video. Very cool. Tell you what, I don't think your van would be happy towing a car trailer, but it sure would look cool. That Duster going down the road behind the van on an open trailer, that would look, you get a lot of people taking pictures of that. That would look like straight up, track day in the late 70s, with the retro van. That's exactly what you would see someone hauled to the track to in the late 70s. That's what you'd see. And what year is your van? Is it a first-year van? I know it's an older one. I think it's a 72 or 3. It's one of the first years of that first generation van, isn't it? Because mine's a second generation. Mine's the 79 and later, where they integrated the wraparound turn signals. Yeah, I was thinking yours was early, 72, so it is first year. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was 72 or 3. It's very cool, though. I love it. Got the short wheelbase. Yeah, the short wheelbase. I get it. I'll tell you what, though. I knew a guy that would tow his. Okay, so there were a couple guys that would show up at the old Princeton Dragway. One of them towed his. He had a. I don't remember what year it was. I think it was actually a 70. It was maybe a 70 Challenger, and it was the rustiest Challenger I think I've ever seen. You could literally take a softball and drop it through the rust hole in the trunk, through the rust hole in the floor. I cringe thinking how bad that car had to look underneath. And, of course, there was no tech inspection at Princeton whatsoever. But that car was so flimsy, and he had a big block in it, and he would spray it. And even spraying a big block, it never ran quicker than 710, which just tells you everything inside was a metric mountain of junk. But the car would twist. You could see the body twist from all the rust when he'd spray it leaving the line. And he would tow that on this open trailer that was made out of mobile home frame and axles, right? So it had no brakes, had the frame rails that were crazy high because it was made out of mobile home frame rail and mobile home tongues. So it was real heavy. I don't know what I bet the trailer weighed a ton and a half or more by itself. And he would tow that with a four-wheel drive Ram Charger. It was like a 77-8 Ram Charger, four-wheel drive. And it was real rusty, too. And he had his whole family in there. He had his wife, his little kid. Oh, the little kid now would be, 20-something years old, I'm sure. Or 30. But he had his four-wheel drive. So it's higher off the ground, short little wheelbase, 318. Could have been a 360. I don't remember. But he would tow it there with that every weekend. And there was another dude who had I can't remember what year. He had a Barracuda. It was a 70-74 E-body, somewhere in there. E-body race car. And he towed it with another E-body Barracuda convertible on an open trailer behind a Barracuda convertible. And he would tow that all the way from Pulaski to Princeton Dragway every weekend. I mean, back into the car on the ground with tongue weight. I think, I don't remember. The car could have been a 318. I don't remember, but That was two people I remember. And there was a lot of people towing sketchy stuff like that back then. It was much more common back then than it is now because trucks and all are so much more capable than they used to be. Load equalizers help with short wheelbase towing, yeah. But there's a lot more of that, then than there is now. 71 was the first year had the pin star under the passenger marker light did away with by 72. I didn't realize that. I was thinking it was summer of 71, all 72 model year, but you're telling me some of those were 71 model years. Did not realize that. Lars puts up a link to Hoosier's van. Yep, check it out. Very cool van. It's good. Glad to see that van in person. Bigfoots and Mopars, I'm going to the Indy Swap Meet. Anybody else? Yes, I'm going to the Indy Swap Meet. I'll be working a booth for Cope Racing Transmissions. So I'll be there with the new SFI 727 case and lots of goodies for y'all to check out, like trans brakes and such. But I do plan to be there at Indy Swap, working a booth for CRT. An extra 8 3/4 9-inch can be used for weight transfer over the rear of chain or bolted down the trunk. Yeah, or you could just use proper ballast. It's secured. Thumper says a 400 Pontiac with iron heads is only 50 pounds heavier than a 5.3 long block. Yeah, perhaps. I got to tell you, aluminum heads on a big block make the big block versus small block weight thing pretty much negligible. Metric mountain of junk. I'm sold. Yes, there's lots of those around. It would look wild with red, yellow, and orange with an olive green, white, and black car. Yeah, I'm telling you, it would look wild. It'd look great. Thumper says a guy near me has a 2002 Trans Am WS6 with a hitch. He pulls a full-size car trailer and all lumber and stuff. That is almost exactly the engine I swapped into a 92 Camaro one time, or 91 Camaro. It was a 2000 WS6. And it had some mildly ported heads, bigger roller cam. I put an LS6 intake injectors on it, throttle body, did some oil and mods. Thing's a runner. Jay's planning to go to Indy. Hoosier's planning to go to... Yeah, I plan to be there. I should be there with all the goodies from Cope Racing Transmissions. Levi asks, is that at the state fairgrounds? Is it the Mopar only one? Yes, just might convert you. So if you're insecure to your preference, Levi, you shouldn't go. Can't afford them Mopars. You can afford to blow your stuff up 10 times. Why don't you get something that won't blow up? Why don't you come get a Cope valve body and go get all the stuff that goes in front of it and just make passes at No Name Nationals and hang out with Mrs. Levi and not blow stuff up. Hoosier says, I'm thinking of pulling the 71 Plum Satellite into the main shop to start fooling with, which was Jim Bennett's and Ryan Barsness's old car. Love to hear opinions. Sure. I'd like to see the Duster. I dig the van. I just, it's all good. It's all cool. Evans Mopar said, Lord willing, he'll eventually get a car, a 4-car fifth-wheel trailer to hook up to the L700 and bring 4 cars to make up for lost time. What you could do is bring 1 car of yours and rent spaces for 3 more to pick up along the way and pay for the trip. So it's a thought. It's a thought there, Scott. Or bring 4 of yours, but that might help subsidize it because I know you're all about finding ways to pay for the hobby. Blue Grit says a local road course guy used to show up with a school bus with the rear door and wall cut out. Had 50-foot-long ramps to drive the car. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Drive the car straight into the bus. I've seen that. It's pretty cool. Just, the misery of running the bus long distances. Oh, yeah, I know you can run at gear vendors and all that, but there's just so much better ways to tow nowadays. It looks cool running an old schoolie like that, but. And Jay says that the SFI bell housing for his Barracuda was the guinea pig for the test fit for the SFI case. Yes, it was. And Levi says that's the only Mopar engine that will handle what I want. Cost whatever. Okay. You know, there's a lot of guys doing some incredible stuff with those third-gen Hemis. Lars puts up a link to the 28th annual Chrysler Performance Trade Show and Parts Swap Meet, the Indy Swap Meet by Indy Cylinder Heads. Yes, I do plan to be there. February 28th and March 1st, 2025. Clayton says, is there a nice way to make a Lexan side window open or pull up? I'd like to have it open in case I get pulled over. I've seen people put little sliders on them, like the Dodge Vipers have. I've seen that. Another thing you could do too is do it like they would do on the super stock Dodges. You attach a seatbelt at the bottom of your glass or Lexan, and then you have a snap on the door. You have a snap at the bottom and a snap at the top. So if you want to raise the window, you unsnap it from the top, you pull the seatbelt down to the bottom, and the window comes up and goes into place, and you snap it at the bottom. You want to put it down, you unsnap it from the bottom, you raise the seatbelt up, window lowers down the door, and you snap it up at the top. And then that also eliminates all the weight of the window regulator and all that stuff. That's how super stock Dodges did it for 68. And then Blue Grid says he's seen Lexan slide in the factory tracks. Yeah, you might. I mean, I guess it depends on the car and how curved the glass is and all that. Yeah, I could see it. It's a maybe. I have a feeling though it will be tough. And you'd probably be doing a lot of spray silicone and all that kind. I mean, it'd probably be tough. But yeah, I'd imagine you could. Hoosier says, think the Chevy and two-lane blacktop, those windows slide 4.5. Yeah. The Viper was like that, though, from the factory. It had a window that would slide like one of those little, teller windows, or like convenience stores that are in war zone areas. They have those little sliding windows. Daddy's Money Garage had fun trying to do that with their side windows. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like something they would do. It's for a Mercury Bobcat wagon. Oh, I'm sure everybody makes that. I'm sure you can call any speed house and get a Lexan window that'll go up and down for a Mercury Bobcat wagon, I'm sure. Now, you have to come up with something. Scott says eventually he wants to put a Cummins diesel in it. Well, I will tell you, Scott, and this is not saying to be mean, but eventually, there's no eventually on my calendar. My calendar has numbers on it. And so you got to just figure it out. So I get it. But I get it. I understand. Levi says just use the factory power windows. It's only 50 pounds. Lay off the burgers. You can have the luxury without losing the weight. Well, it's all relative to whatever you want. I want glass back in mine. Hoosier says there's a dude in one of my van groups that put a Cummins in a B series van. That's pretty neat. Now, did he change the doghouse? Did he make a doghouse to fit it or something? Because I'm sure it didn't fit in the factory. Mr. Roderson's 68 Super Stock Barracuda had the slider windows usually, but yes, I just mentioned that. The Dart and the Barracuda both have that. I love that setup too. But they did it with glass. It was Corning glass. It was thinner than factory. Those cars were cool. They didn't have any sound deadener or anything, and the front bumpers were dipped to make them thinner, like sheet metal. Those cars had a rowdy idle. You could see all the panels and stuff vibrate where it didn't have anything weighing them down, supporting the inner structures. I always thought that was cool. He had to notch the floor in the back of the opening and make an extension of the duct. So he did it with an extension. Okay, well, yeah, whatever works. And the height clearance, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the height actually was better than you'd think. Because those, I think those were pretty good on height. At least they look like Danny Boyd's on my phone with my tired old computer reboots. That used to be me trying to stream. The new machine is working well. I got Filmora loaded up on it today. Dallas got a run. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. If I recall, the height was good. Hoosier says yes. I think the height would be fine, actually. I really do. They for what they are, they're relatively lower profile. They're lower than you'd think. The van has a lot of height there, so I can see the height being okay. The length of it, I figured for sure wouldn't be. All right, Levi's got a date with the ramp truck tomorrow and can't be late for it. Right on, man. So you're going to be ramp trucking it, the Laguna to No Name Nationals? Colleen suggests everyone hitting the like button. Cool. If you feel so compelled, certainly. Bigfoots and Mopar says, I'm going to give y'all a 30-day head start this year before starting to assemble my car, according to the guy painting my car. Well, if the guy painting your car says 30 days, you're going to come to the wire. Evans Mopar says, I hear you there. All my dreams are competing for my attention, time, and money. I swear I'm holding anything back. I understand. If anything, he might have dropped it down, reinforced came in. But yeah, but maybe that's another possibility. Yeah, I could see that too. See, what I wouldn't like about that is now you've changed your angle on the transmission. And yeah, we know what you meant, Heavens Mopar Scott, but that's okay. Wendy is using her press secretary, Dawn, to say hello. So, Dawn, please pass a message to the head of state and the household, Wendy, and say that we say hello, too. Danny Boyd's reminded of the Chips episode where the guy raced someone in a second generation Econoline. Custom steering wheel came off and mayhem ensued. That sounds like every episode of Chips ever. Or it sounds like the music you'd hear in a Hoosier Garage video. I can show you all this. Let's see if I can find it. I saw an episode of Chips. Yeah, here it is. I thought I had it. I saw an episode of Chips where a guy was being chased in a 73 Charger and he rolled it. And I remember you could clearly see the 904 that was in it. I'm like, 904 for the win. Junkyard D. The Chips soundtrack. Of course, yes. I like Adam's style with that, with the Chips soundtrack. Yes. It's good stuff. And for no good reason at all, I'm going to mention there's a fellow I've corresponded with here on YouTube, a really cool guy. His channel is Cost Music, and he's in Italy. But he loves to do covers, recreate covers of 80s movies and TV show soundtracks. And that guy is incredibly talented. His music always gets flagged by YouTube because they can't tell his covers aren't the original piece. They're that good. But he did a cover of season 2 of Chips, and he plays all the parts himself. He's like Prince. This guy does all the parts of the music. He does his own video editing, everything. You can check him out. Cost Music. He's got covers on there for Chips, Miami Vice, Airwolf, Beverly Hills Cop, all kinds of stuff. Knight Rider. Very talented guy. Lars has the chasing. Look at that. There we go. Yeah. So that Chips was practically a car show. That's a cool little chase scene, and you can see the rolled 73 Charger with its 904. Thank you, Lars. I appreciate that, buddy. Oh, Unfinished Project is here to report a 50-13 defeat. the other team put on an absolute clinic. Well, if you're going to lose to a team who's really good, and it'll encourage you guys to rally and be better next time. And Lars puts up the link to Cost Music. Yeah, check him out. Good stuff. He and I have actually talked about doing some music together for something. So, very, very talented guy. Be surprised the hardware he uses and does all of it himself. He's very shy, though. I've tried to get him to do a live stream before, and we'll see. Never say never. We'll see. I think he's as high on the being on camera scale as Unfinished Project is. I've really enjoyed having Unfinished Project on a few live streams, even though he never wants to be on camera. He has been on a few in voice, so maybe I can twist his arm. It's been almost a year since he's been on. So if you guys would like to see Unfinished Project as a guest on a live stream, let me know. Maybe I can try to twist his arm here in about a month. See if it's been a year. I think he is unfinished. He might be, for all we know. Unfinished Project's got all kinds of hidden talents like that. He's the ninja. That is correct. I don't know what he's got going there, but he's the ninja. That's right. He's the resident ninja. So I'm going to remind people who have come in for the fourth quarter here of this live stream, everyone's still growing channels. Happy about what you got? That's Hoosier Garage's question there. I will say Hoosier Adam. We have a new program, Edelbrock Incentives, and it's going to be for any registered No Name Nationals channel, and it goes live by February 1st. You guys will have a website where you can access and get business-to-business pricing, buying directly from Edelbrock. That's going to be Edelbrock, Comp, Lunati, TCI, Fast, Russell, anything in the Edelbrock group. And you're going to get really good price breaks. And as our group collectively buys from it, we'd have an opportunity to increase our buying power and maybe even move to that really good price tier after that, which the one we have is great. But we have a channel to improve on that even more, have a chance to improve. So I'll let you know, it is a perk of being registered for the No Name Nationals. In very short order, you can save more money than you paid for your registration and begin to come out money ahead. And you're still registered for the No Name Nationals. Hello, Wendy. Unfinished Project said it's a red hat. Indeed, he does have a red hat. How did they get a car to flip on every episode of Chips? With ramps. Whoa, fancy. Yes. And for details on that, I had a live stream on that with Professor P. Shane Polito here a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be having a walkthrough of this possibly this Friday, maybe the Friday after that. Junkyard D thinks Hoosier's van is 18 seconds in on that Chips chase scene. Yeah, maybe. Literally could be. Unfinished Project says cars naturally want to flip. Depends who's driving it. They flip the motorcycles with cables. I'll take your word for it. So I've been, I recently chatted with Tom Sarmento. You guys remember him. He was the mechanic for Warner Brothers who helped build and maintain the General Lees. And he wants to come back on the channel here. We're going to have him on soon. He was going to be out of town over the holidays. He's back now. I'm going to talk with him, get him scheduled. But he did some stunts too, including flipping cars with ramps. So if you have questions about making a car flip like that, he would be a really good one to ask because he's done it. Well, some of us have flipped cars involuntarily. He's flipped them on purpose. And there's the link to the live stream with Professor P about the Edelbrock incentives a few weeks ago. So there you go. That program is coming to fruition. We should have it running for you guys to start working on possibly this week. But we said by February 1st, and we're trying to deliver even sooner. And Adam, you buy parts, so for you, that would be a good deal. But it is only for registered No Name Nationals channels. 38 Racing used a tractor tire to flip a car once. Ooh. Just hit it at speed. I used to flip a tractor tire on purpose. Believe it or not, back when I used to work out, I know there's a sentence you thought I would never say. Back when I used to work out, I would flip a tractor tire, would flip it from the loading dock all the way up to the street. So it would go up 2 stories, 30 flips to the top, and then 30 flips back. And it was about as much cardio as it was strength training, but it was great. I enjoyed it. It was captured on video. You got running over a tire and flipping a car on video. I want to see that. Is it on your channel? Is that on your channel, Ray? Man, I'm hoping so. I think it may. Oh, gosh. Lars, can you take a quick peek and see if that's on his channel? Him flipping a car with a tractor tire? I really want to see that. Anybody else have any last questions or whatnot? Time has flown. We have 7 minutes left before top of the hour. I'm sure it isn't tagged well. It's a stolen clip. Okay, well, so it's out there anyway. Yeah, I am in the works on revising that intro video. I want to make it more inclusive of all things and people of what sights and sounds of the No Name Nationals. So now that I have some hardware I can actually do it with, I'm working on doing that. So look for the intro to change up a little bit here soon. Certain things are going to stay and certain things I'm going to switch up. Hoosier says, I think I'm good now. Nice chatting. Yeah, you've gotten your fix. We'll see you when you circle back, man. Blue Grit says, I have a DVD of the remake of the movie of the Dukes of Hazzard. They used a catapult to launch galaxies to set things up before launching the general release. So you say a remake movie of the Dukes of Hazzard. Are you talking about the 2005 movie that has Jessica Simpson and that Sean William Scott or whatever his name is? You talking about that movie from 2005? I've never actually seen it. I just know that it's supposedly it's a whole different thing. It's a modern movie that just kind of trades on the car and very loosely based on the story. I know John Schneider said he didn't like it, but I got to tell you, the clips I've seen of it, I don't either. Some dude paid a huge amount of money for the Charger they jumped in that movie, and had it. I think he had it rebuilt there at the Graveyard Cars dude. Mark Warman rebuilt it, I want to say. Indecisive Garage says, if a feller was going to stick weld a fender back on a trailer, what rod would one use? You have come to the right place, because while I don't know the answer to that, several of our guys do. So what can you guys tell Indecisive Garage? If he's going to stick weld a fender back on a trailer, what's it going to be? What rod would he use? Hello, B&R. Thank you for coming out. He says use a 7018 rod. I got to tell you, that's something B&R would know. 38 didn't find it. Thanks for looking. See, that's a good reason to ask questions here. There's plenty of stuff I don't know. However, we have a wealth of knowledge in the chat. So B&R says use a 7018 rod. I mean, I'm saying I would MIG weld it, but then again, that doesn't help you. You ask about a stick. B&R says 6013 is easier, but the welds are weaker. So that's why he's suggesting a 7018. Blue Grit says it was modern day where yuppies were calling the Dukes racist because of the flag on the roof. Yeah, that's just noise. Who cares? Although, I'll tell you something funny about that, though. So years ago, Bubba Watson bought Lee 1, the first General Lee that was restored by Travis Bell and Company, I think in 2005. He bought Lee 1 for what I thought was a really good deal at $110,000. That's going to be $1 million car one day. I guarantee you. But if not now. But he bought that car, and then his sponsors, because he was a pro golfer at the time, his sponsors were having a dying duck fit because there was a Confederate flag on the roof of this car. So he puts out some kind of social media post saying that he's going to take the flag off the car or put an American flag on there. And it kept his sponsors happy. It was like a $4 million deal, right? So I can't tell you how I know, but I have on extremely good authority that flag never came off that roof. He's like, I'm not defacing that. So anyway, years later, I think after he retired and all of that, he sold the car here a few years ago. He just had it covered up. The flag never went anywhere. Bunch of silliness. Rabbit Transit J says, rumor has it all the cars for that movie were purchased from a Mopar heavy car lot in Chicago. Yeah, I can believe that. B&R says, I'm not great at stick welding. Vertical uphill 6013 rod makes it easy. I don't know. I mean, if I stick weld something, it's probably by accident. He says that's what he was thinking. Yeah, man, do a video on it. That'd be great for your channel. Do a video welding that fender back on. The yuppies were on the movie. Okay. Yeah, that kind of noise about that stuff is just nothing but noise. Nobody cares. I just don't have any stomach to listen to people crying about that kind of stuff anymore. Lars has a link to the AHRA Tech Talk Live every Wednesday at 7 Central. And that's a good place if you have tech questions in general. One-eyed cats reminded me that I worked pretty good at Carlisle a few years back. Yes. So if you... Andrew's suggesting a 6013 rod. There's another good person to ask. Those guys are excellent welders. He says a 6013. Yeah, so you guys, yeah, Colleen remembers. You guys haven't seen that short I did. I got a Roadrunner horn at the swap meet at Carlisle, and we were live from the hotel that night. We decided to bring up a battery and some jumper cables and try it. And Andrew was sitting there when I did it too. The one-eyed cat. I made sure everybody was awake, but it was by accident. Brazil says the AHRA lives are great. I agree. They are. Very good. I'm going to see if Lars wants to put up that short of, yeah, involuntary stick welding while trying to blow a Roadrunner horn. Yeah, so there you go. BNR says 6013 freezes rapid welding. Okay. Andrew suggests a 6013. BNR says 6013 will work. He likes a 7018. But anyway, I think you've got some good ideas there. So, Tim, we look forward to seeing you put up a video welding that back on. We want to see how it turns out. Lars saying have a great weekend, and so do I. So with that, don't forget, we're going to be doing a walkthrough of the Edelrock Incentives Program. It's going to be live maybe this upcoming Friday, for sure the Friday after that. We told you February 1st, and we're going to deliver it, it looks like, early. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be back here on Friday, and I'll go ahead and mention, I'll get a plug in too. I'm going to be at the Indy Swap Meet, working the booth for Cope Racing Transmissions there, since people mentioned it. And the other plug is this Wednesday, AHRA Tech Talk Live. So with that, I'm out. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys later.